everybody, welcome to your daily reading. Today's reading is for Friday, December 6th, 2019. These readings are timeless, however, as you already know. And please feel free to check the backlogs. Just look based on the titles so you can get an idea of the themes. So first of all, let's just jump right in. First of all, I'm picking up that this has to do with the transition or transformation, or really, if I'm being 100% honest, it feels like death of a relationship. So I haven't actually looked at any of the cards yet, but you will notice that some of them are turned up and some of them are turned down. Here we have the death card, right? Remember, the death is a transformation. Death ensures a rebirth, so that's great. Here we have the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Wands as the controlling cards. We know that the Queen of Swords is known to be quite the cutter, so she will make the cuts as necessary. She's judicious. She leads more with her logic and intellect, and has an emphasis on stability and feasibility instead of being moved by her emotions. The Eight of Swords speaks of fast-moving energy. The Eight of Wands speaks of fast-moving energy. And of course, we do have that here. But what I'm seeing here is also releasing something rather quickly. So if you can imagine this idea of the Queen of Swords coupled with this fast-moving energy, a release, makes me feel like there's coupled with the death card, it makes me feel that there is going to be some kind of releasing or rejecting of something. And I do believe that this message is not for everybody, but if something in here resonates for you, then amen. I feel that this is coming after a time of Eight of Swords. So you might have heard me say the Eight of Swords a little bit earlier by mistake, but nothing's by mistake, right? So I feel like this energy has an I'm fed up kind of feeling to it. Now, right behind these two is the Lover's card. Notice that this looks like a cute little deer coming in and finding two people together. So this speaks of a third-party relationship, but this is more about, it's funny because I'm seeing this looks like a little 8 note here. So it's almost like whatever, because I'm getting two energies from here. All right, I have to be honest. I'm getting two energies from here. That's why I'm seeing the 8th note. So it's like, why would this be music to somebody's ears? If you're this deer, this is a nightmare, walking in and seeing that. But if you're this woman here, this is great because she's happy that this deer is coming in and seeing this and being able to see how much in love the two of them are. And depending on which side of this coin you fall, your emotions are going to be quite difficult or different, is what I'm hearing, right? So so on the one hand, I'm just seeing someone puking out emotions, fear, crying, all sorts. And then over here I see this serpent wrapped around its egg, so it's kind of like being happy here, right? So so it really depends on who or what you are in this situation. Now I do feel that this card, the gift card, it doesn't belong on any of these cards. It belongs as a controlling or let's say an underlying energy in place. So I'm going to go ahead and rest it here. So this tells me more like here. Yeah, more like here, not smack dab in the middle. Oh, I just moved it over and it does seem to be a little bit more in the middle now, but it's a controlling energy. So whatever is happening, I'm getting is for the best. Now here we have a card that's right side up, and it's the main female. So I believe this is being directed to you, the viewer, as the main female, okay? So let's go ahead and, these two cards decided to come here alone. Let's see. So I'm getting judication and distant horizons. So I'm getting here that chances are you as the main female, you may be at a distance from your mate. You may be going through something with a third party. Whatever this is, this has multiple applications, but really this is coming as, I want to say as a shock, but not really. I feel like it's, look at this writing on the wall also looks like it's an image of this. So if this is you and your person, viewer, if this resonates with you, if this is you and your person, Spirit is saying you should have seen the writing on the wall. You know, it's here. That writing on the wall that we've kind of been telling you about has arrived, and I'm seeing the anchor being pulled. So it's kind of like it's time to release this. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a Tower card were here, because obviously this in and of itself, this walking in and witnessing and seeing that third party or that situation, or seeing, quite simply put, that the person that you love is actually with somebody else, can be quite a shock. So let's go ahead and see what these cards are here at the top. Two of Swords, the Fool card right underneath the Gift card, and the Magician at the top, right? Journey has fallen upon the Two of Swords, and upon the Magician card we found Occupation. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at these cards here. Ten of Cups. I almost said let's go ahead and drop these cards. So I'm being told that it's almost like these cards at the bottom were probably some cards to let go of, right? So main female, it's time to let go of this Ten of Cups and this Ace of Wands. So maybe, and this Four of Pentacles maybe as well, but these two cards are underlying here. So I'm getting that somebody here in this connection, it could be you, and I have, trust me guys, I have the most compassion for you. If only you knew. Right? I'm getting that Spirit is saying that if you've been identifying yourself as the main female for this person, and if you have been feeling that you are their Ten of Cups, or they are your Ten of Cups, divine love, and maybe you've been feeling that the Ace of Wands, you know, this divine opportunity was for you guys, I'm being told that perhaps you need to drop those ideas. The writing is on the wall is what it seems, and I think it's time for you to let go of that, because you may be receiving some kind of I'm hearing the words duty, D-U-T-Y, but you may be receiving some kind of message that will make that clear to you, that these people are more of a match and that they are more of a couple than you think. I'm seeing him wearing this band. It almost seems like a wedding band on his arm. So for whomever this is, my heart goes out to you. And if you want to pour your heart out into the comments, feel free. Just, of course, keep it respectful, as you know, always. But you can emote, and hopefully, you know, for the rest of you who may have something to offer by way of comfort, you can. But I am getting that they're saying this has been a journey in and of itself, just coming to this realization. And yeah, this is, yeah, holding on tight. No wonder. Holding on tight to this image, and look at you holding on to this bag and finally opening that chest and being able to see what the truth is. And the truth is that it is time to have a new beginning, to let go of this connection. And that's just what I'm feeling. I'm seeing though that it's also time to put an end to being in between two minds about something. They're saying they want you to because I'm seeing the Two of Swords. Excuse me, I'm seeing the Two of Swords, not knowing which direction to take. But you notice how the Death card is holding on to the same cloak that she's wearing. And I'm picking this up, and it feels compassionate. Trust me, it can be triggering, but it feels compassionate, and it's almost unfair to ask, but it just feels like you letting go of this energy that you have, where it's like in between two minds, and as you let that go, you allow for another female to have her Nine of Cups. You allow for another female to feel happy and to be the one in the spotlight, and to be the one that gets to get the hugs and the love. And yes, it would mean you would have to have a new beginning here as the Fool, and accept whatever that takes, you know, whatever feelings those are, feelings of rejection, abandonment, not being the one to be chosen, never being the one who's chosen, always being the one who's left behind and told that you're not good enough, or, you know, feeling that you weren't good enough, and just whatever all of those feelings are. it's like packing it all up and releasing this person, like that, coming to the end of the journey, releasing this man so that he can go on to be with somebody else who he chooses to be with. And that is in and of itself one of the hardest messages that I've ever had to give on this channel, because I understand that feeling. I've been there before, and actually I think I'm there now, but anyway, my point is, it's not easy. But if we can use this moment to think about this for a second, remember that time when you were, this is God coming in with compassion and showing you how compassion works. Remember that time when you were the one he wanted, when things were going good, when you felt on top of the world, when you felt like you were the one who was loved, you were the chosen one, you were the wife, the husband, whatever, and like things were meant to be. Well, Spirit is saying now, take yourself out of the equation and imagine that same feeling being given as a gift to someone else. And I'm seeing it being this woman in this Lover's card here. Now imagine what it would be like to gift another woman with that and saying, my time has finished and now it's your time to have what it is that I've always wanted. And it hurts me more than you could ever know, but it makes me happy on some level. I may not be there yet, but I know that one day it'll make me happy to know that at least somebody is being happy and getting something wonderful. And I think that is hard to do, and I'm not telling you guys how to do your job, because, you know, obviously it's a struggle for me too. But if we could get to that point, even if out of the whole 24 hours of our day there's only 1 2-minute period out of all of the 24 hours of that day where you can just have that image of, yeah, I guess it would make her happy. It would make her happy. Maybe she's had a shitty life, you know, maybe she's had no love in her life, maybe she's always the one being rejected, and she finally gets somebody who wants to work on things with her and wants to give to her. And maybe that's come at your expense. Maybe she snuck in there like a serpent and took it, you know. Maybe he left and ghosted on you, you know, whatever the story. And it's like, Spirit is saying at the end of the day, justice will always be served, right? Let's pull a card for underneath. Let's pull a card. I don't even know which. Let's use the Moonology cards. God bless. Alright. So we'll pull 3 Moonology cards for the underlying energies. One, don't let pride get in your way. Sometimes it's okay to be wrong. Maybe you felt, I was sure I was the right one. I'm the right one for him. And if I'm not the right one, then, you know, I can't be the wrong one. You see how that goes? Like, it's just not possible. The next card that comes out is your commitment is being tested. I know it's kind of like, you know what, wait, that means that I should stay committed. But actually, let's stop and ask ourselves, what is it that you are being tested with? Are you being tested on your commitment to this person? Or are you being tested on your commitment to love and to commitment to the highest good of all involved? Because perhaps the highest good for all involved would be for you to move out of the way and allow him and this other person to have this 10 of Cups. Who knows, right? And really, we don't know if this is for you guys. Again, only a personal reading could truly speak to that, because if you're watching videos every day, how do you know which one is for you? Unless your discernment is very good. So be mindful about that. But the third card here is prosperity lies ahead. So this is a win-win situation I think if you can step out of the way and allow somebody else to take the lead and to have the gift and to have the joy and have the sunlight, and maybe bowing out gracefully is, you know, the way to go. Let's see what I was gonna say, saving grace, but I heard saving face. I'm seeing this card at the top. It says time to breathe out. Now at the bottom of the deck here says a new romantic cycle begins. Now this is neither here nor there. I'm just gonna leave it here because it was brought to my attention, but the card right underneath also says a new start is coming. So remember, I'm just here to give the readings. So I'm seeing that what I was just telling you, definitely there's some of you out there who do need to step aside and allow for that union, whatever it is, to come into fruition. And I'm not necessarily just talking to third parties. In fact, I'm talking to those who consider themselves to be the main female. Now, a lot of third party women do consider themselves, or men, you know, do consider themselves to be the main female. Yeah, as soon as he leaves his wife, or she leaves her husband, or whatever, she leaves her wife, but a lot of times that's not the case, right? That the wife is the main female, but the actual one. And sometimes the wife feels that she's the main female when really it's the third party who will become the main female. So whatever it is, you know, take it as it resonates, guys. But either way, if this resonates with you, and you're being asked to step aside and to bow out gracefully for others to have a chance. Now, like, honestly, guys, I mean, again, you know, I'm just a channel, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When these messages come through me, that's because I'm going through that already, okay? So you guys really don't know how hard it is for me sometimes to give these readings. But it is only my commitment to being of service that brings me to this table sometimes, to be honest. But that being said, the best way, I guess, to transmute these and to work in the light is to take a situation where you are just shitted on, rejected, abandoned, thrown away, cast aside, ridiculed, whatever it is, you know, everyone can throw their words in there, and to still be able to come through it with grace and with a commitment to self and to God, and to have compassion. Compassion, I maintain, is one of the hardest things to have, because to have compassion for somebody sometimes means you need to access your pain a bit, at least a little bit, and sometimes it means to stand aside. And because sometimes, like in this case, you having compassion would look like, I'm not the one, and it's devastating. But maybe, and here's the compassionate part, maybe it means somebody else out there can have those feelings of joy and happiness and that moment in the sun that I've longed to have, like 100% longed to have, and it's just given away to somebody else. And, you know, maybe the minute you say that and you release and you breathe your last breath on that connection, and you gift it to somebody else, and you grace it to somebody else, it may not mean that you'll walk away feeling happy, but it'll give you a sort of peace. And maybe, just maybe, after that, this happens for you and happens for the person you've given the gift to. And honestly, that is the hardest thing. I know some people will be like, oh, you know what, yeah, but everybody wins. But actually, no, because right now I'm still in pain, and that person is off with somebody they love, and they're together, but I'm in pain, and I'm left holding the bag. And yeah, maybe a new love is coming in for me, but I wanted that love. And, you know, and it just spirals from there. But, you know, I'm just pointing out a compassionate, what compassion would look like, an example. Another example of compassion would look like, you know what, I wanted to be the one, but I know this person has kids, with that other person, and I know that me taking this person away could very well be, robbing a whole family of people of a future. You know, I mean, and God, I look at you and I give up to you. I sacrifice what I want for you, God, for these people. And it's almost like sacrificing your life. And if that's not true generosity and true compassion, then I honestly don't know what is. And I think that maybe if we could get in that space, then that might help free up a lot of energy for a lot of us, and it might transmute. So let's do that. Let's say a quick prayer. Okay. Dear God, we thank you so much for these lessons that you've brought us through. And we say this prayer because we come with heavy hearts, because we wanted so much for this that we thought was for us to be. And we understand that there's a very good chance that the writing has been on the wall and this connection is not for us, and that we're not the one. And God, we're tired of making other people wrong for it. We're tired of suffering. We're tired of pulling ourselves through something that isn't for us, that we're not even honored in. And at the end of the day, God, we sacrificed this thing that we wanted so much because we know that it's going to bring somebody happiness. And if our gain is not making us happy, then we give it up to you, God, to redistribute it to whoever it is. And we ask in return that you please heal our hearts and create the time for us to feel validated and wanted and witnessed, even if it's not from the person that we wanted. And so we thank you so much that we could come to this place to have at least one shred of compassion, to be able to say this simple prayer and to give up to you that which was never for us and that which someone else is waiting for. And we just ask that you have mercy and that we have feelings of justice so that we can move on with a whole heart and with blessings of our own. And so it is. All right. Now, as I was saying that, I definitely felt a male energy just spit out like he's like, no, F that. Okay. So there may be a male watcher who's not quite there yet. And we understand with complete compassion. Okay. We get that. But I'm seeing that some of you, that might be very hard to accept. Now I'm seeing here that this reading is for definitely those people who've been trying to no avail, to make something happen, to make something work with this connection. But at the end of the day, it's time to not admit defeat. It's time to admit surrender and to realize that you're just choking off your own life force energy, right? And I think if you can wrap yourselves around that idea of compassion and sacrificing for the greater good, then that carries with it its own spiritual rewards. And I'm seeing you just being bigger and taking the big road, the high road, okay? Now, I'm seeing that some of you are like, well, what am I supposed to do now after I sacrifice that? And I've got to be honest, the idea is to work on yourselves. But if I'm being really honest, it looks like she's working on a wedding dress, to be honest. I listen, I don't know, guys. I don't want to say, look, why am I saying I don't know? I do know. I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing her working on a wedding dress. Now, the question is, whose wedding dress is it? Yeah, how compassionate are you? Going to work on the wedding dress for this other lady? If that's you, then God knows you really have learned a lesson. You really have, right? Or perhaps you're even working on a wedding dress and working to manifest somebody for yourself in the future. God bless you. Mwah. You've also learned a lesson. Sometimes letting go is the hardest thing you'll ever have to do, but it's, in a sense, it can be the greatest gift that you give to someone else. And we see that here. And it's almost like it doesn't matter the circumstances in how it's come to be. Like, you left with questions like, why couldn't this person just tell me they didn't want me? Why couldn't they just save me from the pain? Why couldn't they? And those questions will always be there, because there's never an answer for that. There never is. There really isn't. There is when you go higher up into the atmosphere and you see the, the greatest love of all, But down here, it's never going to be good enough. The answer is never going to be good enough. You know why? Because too often we equate the rejection with a rejection of us, There must be something wrong with me because this person and all the other people never want me. They always get somebody else. They always take somebody else. They always leave me alone. I'm always the one holding the bag. Everybody else gets what they want. Everybody else gets what I wanted. And I get nothing. All of those energies. And it's funny because every time I go to say the word energies, the word enemies wants to come out. So Spirit is making a commentary like those are enemy thoughts. It's like enemy at the gates. You're seeing that as enemies, like those thoughts and those ideas as enemies. But they're saying, and this is a card that wanted to come in, but I didn't bring it in, but I'm going to now because I'm saying it again. Listen only to love, right? Look at this. Don't allow fear to distract you from your divine mission. Look at her with those thoughts and holding her heart. And the angels are saying they know. I mean, honestly, there's nothing they can say. This is my opinion, but this is only my pain. There's nothing they could say to take that pain away for me. But what they're saying is that they know, and they're also acknowledging that they know there's nothing they could say except they know, they understand. And we are the ones who can't fathom that they could understand our pain. And they understand that, so that's why they just say they know. Okay? Because they feel it. They know us so well, and they know every ventricle in our heart that has just stopped working because of this. But we feel the pain so much that we can't fathom that they can understand and fully comprehend how much we are hurting. But they really do, and they can sit here. Now, notice how she's just standing there and she's saying, listen only to love. And love, guys, oh, thank you. Love in this situation, guys, is going to be to have compassion for these other people who are in love and to give them the gift of bowing out gracefully. All right? Not an easy thing to do. I'm tempted to, I guess, end the reading now, but I'm looking around to see if any other energies, these cards want to come in. Let me check our old familiar haunt, our spirit animal cards. Okay. I'm getting an Egyptian feeling here. I didn't even look at it yet, but I'm getting an Egyptian feeling. I don't know why. All right. And weirdly, a Polish feeling. Poland. Anyway, that means something to somebody. Egyptian and Polish. Now, Coyote Spirit is underneath the deck. Ooh. Trust in divine detours. So, interesting. Spirit is saying here that this isn't the last. This isn't the last of this. So, you're on to a new beginning here. But your journey continues, right? Where does it continue? Notice I looked here because I felt the other card underneath wanted to come in. It's Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. Bobcat Spirit is coming in as a fatherly energy. the energy that I'm getting from Bobcat Spirit is like a fatherly energy, older fatherly energy of a daughter, and he's like, it's okay, baby girl. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. Kind of like supporting, okay? So take that as you will. It's kind of like that kind of fatherly energy where you come home, you've got your bags, you put your bags down, you've just moved out of your boyfriend's apartment and you've been rejected, you broke up, you come home and he's like, it's okay, baby girl, and he's like, just put your bags down. You know, let's get a cup of tea. You guys are quiet. He pours the tea. You sit down in front of the fire and you just talk. And, you know, and he's just, his message is simple, you know. Even though he's talking, he's listening, he's emoting, he's in his divine masculine. And he says, oh, this card wants to come in. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it. And he says, oh, that's the mother coming in. Mother energy, got it. And he says, life stings. That's what he says. It hurts. And sometimes it happens. And sometimes you have to accept it. But he lets you talk it out. And he talks it out with you. And you know, but his support is there. And I'm seeing the mother energy. Take the lead, you know. And then she comes downstairs. And she hears you guys. And is that you in the kitchen? And you know, and now the three of you are complete. Father and mother and you. And she gets her cup of tea and she listens, and it's her turn to talk, and she talks about, you know, look, their mom and dad 8 and 8, and then she talks about her pain 5, you know, in the tarot 5 often carries with it conflict energy, tension energy, right? And she speaks of how she went through it before she met your father, right? In some cases, how she went through it with your father. And this is the energy, and it's this comfort. It's just this comfort of being home again and happy. Now here's another card that wants to come in. Who's this? 43. Yeah. You see clearly now. Let it go. Okay? And so, yeah. And so as I'm saying this, I'm getting, and now your commitment is complete. So an ending of a contract here. And I'm pretty sad because I definitely feel this pertains to me in a big way, right? And so they're saying your commitment is being tested, right? But the ending of the commitment is here. You see clearly now. The cycle is to end here, and it's to let go. And it's interesting because I'm seeing again this main female energy now is shifting. It's no longer you guys. So I'm getting that some of you may have made this shift in energy after watching this video to relinquish that main female title to someone else. And I know this sounds super lame. Trust me, I get it. But it's almost like you doing that makes you the bigger person. It really does. And this card here that wants to come in is Mouse Spirit. And I'm seeing this as that other woman, that energy, that other woman having that 4 that you wanted so much, that 4 of wands, that structure, that foundation with your person. Her having that, looking like a little bit like a bride, and she's coming in small, right? It says tend to the small things, but you know what I'm seeing is you gifting her with that, passing the baton and having the gentility to say, here, take my person. And it's very hard to deliver that kind of message. I get that. That's interesting. I'm seeing a rune here. Let me look that rune up. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Hold on. Alright, got it. It's Dagaz. Let me see if I can find it. Guys, I got these from Etsy. Oh my god, I love Etsy. Oh my god. I have to learn my runes, but you can see they want to work with me in whatever capacity I know them. God bless them. Thanks, runes. Alright, where? Okay, jeez. Though I've seen every rune except the one I'm looking for, guys. Forgive me. 1 second. Let's gather our thoughts, get some water in the meantime. I'm gonna pull this one out too. Oh, here it is. Okay, dagas. Some keywords for dagas that I really feel work here in this context that we're saying is growth and release. All right. The place night ends and day begins. The power of change directed by your own will, transformation. All right. But very much growth and release. So you're growing and you're releasing this person, your person. By the way, this one is dagas. I don't know if you guys can see. Is it dagas, dagas, whatever? I'll be studying, but not yet. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. Forgive me. Sometimes I have to laugh at myself. All right. Yeah. There it is. Okay. So it looks very much twin flamey, soulmatey, right, with the infinity sign. Now I want you to see manas, this one, which means man. Oh, dagas means day, and manas means man. Can you see? Now, if you notice, if you take away those two limbs, look at that. It's the same symbol. So what I'm getting here is to release this male energy, okay? And in so doing, that growth and release, you are blessing, you're blessing this other female. You're tending to the small things. You're giving her something. This energy is not someone just storming in. Notice, at least in this reading, she's not storming in. She's coming and you're releasing to her. In fact, I want to put her on the board, but she's like saying no. So it's not like she's like, move over, lady. Not at all. Okay? Whether or not she's doing that in real life, but that's... So let's look at these two cards that are as yet unturned. Yeah. Surrender now. This and that are true. Okay? So... I think it's pretty clear for you guys. Remember, I don't want you to get triggered by this, because you should get a personal reading. If you think this is for you and you're like, you know, and you just want to be sure before you get all triggered, you can get a personal reading, if not from me, from someone else, right? To kind of help give you some clarity on that, give you some ideas on the purpose of the relationship, whatever it is that you need. But I do feel that this message today is about release. And trust in the divine detours tells us that your journey continues, and that this was about learning lessons. Okay? It's interesting because my eyes, I was just wondering if this is for group 2, and true to form, my eyes literally just boom fell down right here onto this group 2. So you know, yesterday's reading was targeted towards group 1. Today's reading is targeted towards group 2. So this is a message for those in group 2 who are being encouraged to release a relationship. A few days ago, Spirit came through with a message for I guess everybody, and they assigned 4 groups. Group 1 being the group of people for whom a relationship is assured, and they're still waiting for their person who is in a group 2 situation. Group 2 is for people who need to release somebody, a karmic partner. They need to release somebody and move on to something better for themselves. This message came through for them. For group 2. Group 3 were for people who were just there on the call, having popcorn and learning something, but not necessarily having a story, and not necessarily needing to get a message from there, just to learn and just learn and watch. And group 4 were for the group of people who didn't know it, but they thought they were in group 3, but they would really be in group 4 for a later time when they are asked to be in a situation where they need to release or where they need to hold on. Okay, guys? So again, I love you guys. My heart beats for you. Please, 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 if you'd like to leave comments, sad comments, prayer, asking for prayers, whatever it is, you can leave those comments on our page, because it's our page. And for those of you who would like to help, you can leave wonderful positive messages there as well. So I just ask that you keep the space a healing space, so no cursing and, you know, all that craziness. But yeah, so anyway, so thank you, God, and I wish you guys the best, and that's the message that's come through tonight. Okay, God bless you. Mwah. I love you, and have a blessed night. Bye.